Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow gamers. This is Denzel B. Ren, signing on with you guys and girls, and I figured out today that I would give you a little small but sweet tutorial on how to hook up your PlayStation 5, well, set up your PlayStation 5 for home theater purposes. So for those of you who want to know that I have a Vizio 43-inch 4K HDR that does Dolby Vision and HDR10, and also I have a Sony home theater receiver. It's the STH, well, you'll see the model after I put a link in the description below, but I will give you a tutorial how my setup is, and I'll show you how I use the coloring and sharpness and contrast, etc. I'll show you all my settings and features and how I do it. So let's proceed to the next part of the video, shall we? So, first things first, what you ought to do is just turn on your TV first. So I own a Vizio TV, of course, and what I'm going to do is that I'm going to skim down onto the UHD so I can activate my 4K HDR, so I can output the HDR10 and give me the high dynamic range and coloring and high contrast. So that's very important to look at on your TV. So every manufacturer, everybody's TVs work differently, but yeah, that's what the most important thing that you need to look for in your TV. Number two, of course, on your receiver, of course, in your home theater receiver. On my receiver, I had to scroll down into the HDMI section, and then I have to go all the way down to SIG, and then after that, my PlayStation 5 was hooked up on the game part, so I would choose game, and then I would select standard and switch it into enchanted mode. And once you have that to enchanted mode, you should be outputting 4K HDR, you know, the usual 60 frames per second, etc. Now my TV is also a 60 frames per second. This is not a 120 hertz TV. This TV came out in 2019, I believe, but I got this TV earlier in 2020 and stuff like that, but I know what year, right? But this TV is owned, you know, it's a 60 hertz TV. Now the 8K and 120 hertz TV, I may get somewhere down the future line, but my TV is fine and beautiful as it is. So proceeding on. Now, after you do that enchanted mode, make sure to turn on your PlayStation 5, and also go into the settings part and double check to make sure that you know that it's output into 4K HDR and your TV is with 60 hertz. Now, if you do have a 120 hertz TV, etc., then that would be a great. You'll see that on your setting thing that the PlayStation 5 is letting you know the information that it is outputting. And also on my Vizio TV, of course, I can just check on the side part of it and to make sure that my TV is properly outputting 4K HDR. Okay, so that's the first part of it, and as you can see here on my video quality, my settings for the TV that I use, because I use, as you can see right there, HDR10. The backlight is on high 100, you know, so I get a little bit of brightness on the top. And as you can see here, my contrast and stuff like that is up to it's up to 55. My contrast is on 55. And my coloring is on 75, just to get that little vivid boost. And also, you don't have to do this, but I personally do it because on my OLED TV, which I have set up in another room, I set my sharpness all the way up to the highest point. Now to y'all be like, I don't approve the sharpness. It's too much anti-aliases and all the grains. For me, I love that. I turn the resolution up high because I have a Sony A9G OLED, so I turn the resolution up high because I want to see every single details. Now, you don't have to do it. If you want to do it professionally wise, that's cool with you, but it's a difference in my eyesight, and man, it pops out my eyes. But anywho, we're talking about my gaming setup for my TV, so I leave my sharpness on 60 because on this TV, which I figured out, when I turn this one all the way up to 100, you know, I can see a lot of edge enchantment. I don't want to see that, but I still want to see much more crisp and details in it, so I just lowered it all the way to 60, and the 60s prove its worth. So this is my setup for the TV, and make sure that the noise reduction and all that stuff is turned off. My high LED thing is all the way to switch to high, and the low black levels to switch to low. And yeah, as you can see there, that's the settings of my TV settings. So that's how I can see the picture quality and the vividness of it. So moving right along, let's go and talk about the audio part. So people have been questioning and wondering, does the PlayStation 5 output Dolby Atmos? But anywho, when you put the PlayStation 5 on, period, mine is outputted to linear PCM. because that's the cleanest uncompressed audio, 7.1 surround sound setup and stuff like that. So even for all video games throughout, and you know, throughout all the apps, etc., it's going to put everything out into lossless audio depending on your setup, like I said, because mine's this receiver outputs DTS HD and Dolby TrueHD, because my other setup, my other receiver in the living room outputs Dolby Atmos. Because when you play 4K HDR Ultra Blu-ray movies, do you get Dolby Atmos or DTS:X for the Atmos fans like me? And the answer is yes. How? This is how you do it. So what you got to do is just when you put in a Blu-ray movie, 4K Blu-ray movie in, and then after that, what you're going to do is that you're going to use the PlayStation controller, just push the start button on the PlayStation controller. All you got to do is convert it from PCM and just switch it automatically to bitstream, and that's how you're going to get the way the Dolby Atmos and Dolby TrueHD, whatever format that you're using. Simple setup, and that's it. And then go into your PlayStation settings to just double check everything is up to speed and the way how you presented it and how you want it to look and sound, basically. From PCM to bitstream for 4K Blu-ray movies, and all PlayStation 5 games are outputted into PCM, which is the cleanest, uncompressed, no lossy quality sound audio, depending on your setup. So if I left anything, please let me know, and I'll get you there. So in the meantime, I'm gonna try something new now. Oh my god, it does work. So this is me signing out. I'm going to my gaming realm now. So this is me signing out with a bang. Ha ha! Woo!